You're gay. Hello and welcome back, Ravers. It is season 5, episode 5 of Gay Rave, and I am the Gabby L. So bravely coming to you tonight, out of my shower looking like a wet dog. If you are on the YouTube, I have not yet diffused. I truly am coming to you live with my showered hair. And boy, did we need it. I have been so freaking stinky because I've been sweating my ass off in Peru. But alas, here we are with all of the products and with the air conditioning running and with me able to use the sink water for brushing my teeth. We did it. We made it, Ravers. Oh my God. We are finally back in New York, but only for a few more hours because I got to turn it around for Phoenix for work. But Peru was amazing. The rest of Peru. I can't wait to give you this update because as of the last time we spoke, 3 out of the 4 of us had fallen to stomach issues and we were about to start the Inca Trail hike. Okay. And so our guide for the Inca Trail, his name was Carlos. We had some amazing tour guides. I met Fabio, Sonia, we had Carlos, we had incredible people as tour guides throughout this entire trip. So shout out to all of them. If you're ever going to Peru, to Lima, to Cusco, to Machu Picchu, hit me up for recommendations because I would honestly have 1,000 thoughts. All right. That being said, Carlos, who is our guide, comes to our house to tell us about the hike. Because of the landslides, our hike is slightly abridged. All right. But it starts the next morning. 4:30 in the morning, he picked us up in a van. It is just the 3 of us, Alina, Merritt, myself, and Carlos, okay? Which is actually very, very clutch because the hike was so much harder than I had expected. In my mind, I'm like, I know this is going to be hard. But in my same mind, I'm like, how hard could it be? People do it, old people do it. I'm a capable adult. I'm a young-ish person. Generally fit. Okay. So that was my mindset going into it. All right. I was, of the 3 of us, the most optimistic and the most excited. All right. Still feel good about that. That being said, we get in the car at 4:30 a.m. We take a car about 90 minutes to a train. Okay, the train is in Ayuntetombo, and then it's another approximately 90 minutes to 2 hours to the start of our hike. We were supposed to start the hike walking about 40 minutes, a couple kilometers along the river, and then going up approximately 650 meters, and then finishing the rest of the hike on a generally like a rolling hills or like a downhill. Okay. So we knew that because of the landslides, the slow incline path was not an option. So on the train, Carlos learns that we can't even walk along the river anymore. The river is overflowing. It's rainy season. The river is flooded. So our hike will start without that 40-minute warm up along the river. It will start at the bottom of the hill with the ascent, the 650 meters for the first 2 hours of the hike. Okay. So no warming up, no intro, ripping it raw. Okay. By the time we get off this train, it's approximately 8 a.m. All right. We got in a car, recall, 4:30 in the morning. We got up approximately, 4 o'clock in the morning. And we're about to rip this, right? We didn't do any stretching, no lunges, no high knees, no nothing. At first, we get in, there's all these sort of train tickets and bus tickets, and you have to get permits to get into the place itself. It's a lot of work. So going through our tour was very, very helpful. All right. And I decide to carry my approximately 20-pound backpack the entire time. I have a thing about leaving my stuff. I think it's because growing up with a sibling and sharing a room and stuff, I didn't have a lot of stuff that was just mine. So I think I'm really protective of things that are mine, I guess. So I didn't leave anything or leave anything to go to the hotel. I kept it all in my person. So all of my stuff for the night that we were going to spend, all of the next day, everything for this entire hike was in my backpack. All right. Very, very heavy backpack. All right. Just a Columbia school backpack. All right. Nothing special. Not a hiking backpack. Not meant for hiking, personally. Okay. So that's just me. Alina and Merritt smartly combine their 2 backpacks into one to carry on the trip and then one to bring back to the hotel. Okay. So they are sharing one backpack. We first see bathrooms before we get started with the hike. They have bathrooms at the bottom, and the bathrooms are just holes in the ground, right? And this woman's like, I think there's only showers in this one. Let me see if there are toilets in the other one. And I was like, these are your toilets, ma'am. These are the toilets. You're going to want to squat down. All right. And so you have to like bring wipes, bring toilet paper. You have to keep everything. Like there's no like garbages. You have to keep all of your garbage. And so that way you could throw it out once you are no longer on like the protected land. Okay. We know these things. So looking up, I'm like, okay, it's like kind of stair vibes. There's some other tour groups of like mixed ages. All right. I'm feeling really good in the beginning. I'm kind of rocking it, ripping it. The guide asked me, what do you do to like prepare for this? I was like, I was in the gym, like I was on the Stairmaster, do some lifting, you know, like I do my thing. I'm not really hiking, but you know, I was feeling a little cocky at this point. And mind you, we had gotten to Cusco one day prior. We had been taking the altitude meds for 3 days-ish, maybe. Okay. So definitely not acclimated enough for this to not be incredibly painful. Remember, we have approximately 2 hours to do this. Everything has to be like generally timed because we have to be off the mountain by a specific time to get down to the hotel, right? All right. So we have about 2 hours to do this. We're going 2 kilometers. For your awareness, 2 kilometers, about 1.5 miles, less than 1.5 miles. All right. Seems fine. 650 meters into the sky. We start walking about 30 minutes in. We're sweating our dicks off. All right. Like, I mean, Alina and Merritt brought full puffers. Like they told us to bring multiple layers. Me, I have my sport leggings on, my hiking boots, a tank top. It's like a bra tank top and my New York Liberty sweater that I brought. The only warm thing that I brought. Okay. So my sweater's off by this point. I'm carrying the sweater now on top of the 20-pound backpack. And then Alina and Merritt also like ripping all of their layers off because we are so fucking hot. And at this point, Alina is so miserable. And remember in the last podcast, I said how I appreciated how she was like so vocally miserable and not putting on a brave face for anyone. Like she was just like vocally herself and she wasn't going to hide it. And in this moment, I wish that she was hiding it a little bit because we were all pretty miserable. But Alina was truly saying words like, fuck this. Why did I choose to do this? I might turn around. At one point, the guide was like, you can still go back. Like the train will take you to where the hotel is and like, we'll just meet you there at the end of the day. We were having those conversations first 30 minutes. Alina was like, I told myself after Italy, I would never hike on vacation ever again. Why am I doing this? This is fucking horrible. This is torture. Okay. And about 45 minutes in, we bravely ask, how long has it been? Like, how far have we gone? Thinking we're about halfway done. Not even a third. Not even a third. And my struggle really begins. Like, he's measuring it on the meters and not on the distance, obviously. So at this point, he's like, we're like 150 meters in. Okay. So we're less than a third. We're all like, oh shit. We shouldn't have asked. Deeply regret the asking. Okay. So little by little, we're taking a lot of breaks. But then, you know, Alina's Adderall kicks in and she becomes like this little billy goat. First of all, good attitude. Second of all, amazing at hiking. Like after every break, she like gets these spurts and like sprints ahead and she starts to be like, wow, this is amazing. This is great. And nothing pisses you off more than somebody like doing great or in a good mood when you are struggling. Like it was crazy, the 180 shift that this woman took. And meanwhile, Merritt barfing on the trail, completely unwell. I am like having tunnel vision. I can't like see what's in front of me. I have to keep stopping, like really shallow breaths, can't catch my breath. So finally we like reach the halfway point. We keep it going. We finally start to inch our way. I mean, truly, this is the hardest physical thing I've ever done, I think. I have run 2 marathons in my life, 2 marathons, and this was still the hardest fucking thing I've ever physically done. I didn't think I was actually going to make it at one point. I was like, you guys, I really think this is going to be a slog. I really did not think I was capable at that point. But around 10 o'clock-ish, we finally see the top of this mountain, all 650 meters. Merritt has nothing left in their stomach. I had my hair down the whole time, just drenched in sweat, just soaking wet. We all stink like shit. We finally at the top of the mountain. It's 10 a.m. and he's like, you guys want to eat lunch? Like, I don't fucking know. either way, there's like an archaeological site at the top, Wenya, which is beautiful. We learn a little bit about that. We get to sit. We get to a little bit of eating. Alina eats the box lunch they gave us. I eat a part of it. There's like a couple fruits, some like quinoa chicken thing, which is like really great that they give us this. And then Merritt like can't take any food down. So I'm like, oh God, we're about to lose Merritt. Like the fact that they already vomited multiple times and they're not eating, like we're never going to make it. This is only about the halfway point. Okay. Because we still have rolling hills for like another couple miles, then another waypoint, and then another 40 minutes down, a final stopping point before we actually take a bus down. All right, there's a lot ahead of us at this point, but luckily Alina's good mood stretches a little bit further. We're at the rolling hills portion, people. There is shade, there's rolling hills. I mean, there's some uphills, but mostly downhills. This part takes, about 90 minutes, okay? And we're doing pretty good. We're getting pics. Like, we are in good spirits. We're kind of laughing. We're like asking Carlos about his life, okay? We're in great spirits. Towards the end of this second portion, all right, we're reaching what's called the Sun Gate. And the Sun Gate is what you can see, like truly like Machu Picchu, the citadel from, like the first time you can really turn the corner and see the citadel from afar. All right, a really special, very beautiful place. Okay. But to get to the Sun Gate, there are a bunch of stairs and what they call the monkey steps. The monkey steps mean that you are going to essentially be crawling on your hands and your feet up, I want to call it 50-ish feet, and then there's more stairs beyond it. And at this point, Alina has lost her positive attitude, has started having stomach cramps, and is like, Carlos, you said that it would be 5 minutes and it's been 6 minutes. Don't fucking lie about the timing. You said there wouldn't be more stairs. You said it was rolling hills. This is just like the beginning. Fuck this. Okay? And I'm stressed. I'm like, oh God, we lost her. Okay? We're just trying to hold it together at this point. We just have to get to the Sun Gate. Carlos is fearing for his life, I'm sure. He's like, I'm not going to say a word about how much time is left anymore. I'm just going to, like, you guys do your thing. He was doing his best to be encouraging, but at one point he fucking pissed me off. He was like, 5 minutes, but you guys keep stopping. I was like, you guys First of all, how fucking dare you? This man not even cracking a sweat on that first part. Oh my God. He does this like multiple times a week. I want to be dead. And I actually want to kill him first. I want to take one of those fucking walking sticks. Just, And he was being a little weird. At one point he was like, Gabriela. He'd be like, Alina, Merit, and Gabriela. Like he would give it this like little flavor. And I'm like, stop doing that. Okay. How about we don't? All right. So we get to the Sun Gate. Alina, in a fury. I walk through the beacon of the Sun Gate and all I hear remind me is Lena go, I am officially over this. I will not be taking another step. I'm done. I'm not doing anything else. And I was like, game respects game. You know what I'm saying? We have reached this point. At this point, let me check the time. Let me see what time it is. It is 1:17 p.m. 1:17 p.m. Okay, we're all running on fucking fumes. We get to the Sun Gate, we take a rest, we take some water. First of all, Marilena are like rocking with 8 fucking waters. I've got 3 waters in my bag, so fucking heavy. I'm not drinking a lot of water because I'm trying to be strategic. I'm like using the marathon mindset. I'm like, only take small sips every time that you drink because you don't want to like overhydrate and you also don't want to have to like pee a bunch, okay? Because like the water stirs up your stomach. And I think that might have been what happened to Alina, like whether it was like the food or the water or like the extreme exertion, like it really fucked up her stomach. So now her stomach is in like so much pain. This poor woman, like we're all in pain from the hiking, like mostly the altitude. I think like my breathing in my chest felt it much more than my legs, which is ironic because my legs were doing all of the fucking work. Okay. So Alina's in a lot of pain. We finally get started on the last, he's like, oh, it should take 40 minutes, but for us, let's call it an hour. I'm like, you know what? Fuck you, Carlos. But okay. So we get started on the final trek, and this is to like the guards landing is what they call it. Okay. There's like a little house, there's llamas there, and then you can really see the whole citadel of Machu Picchu. And so this is the last point of the day. So we are taking our final descent. It is mostly downhill. And you're like, oh, downhill, that sounds so great, right? Like, what a nice respite. Wrong. Wrong, because the downhill, it's like a slippery ramp. Okay. And of course, he's like trying to tell us facts. Meanwhile, like, Carlos, he is really, really good at the hiking thing. And he really did just get us through this very, very difficult thing. And I do think that we were trauma bonded by that. But I don't think that we were getting as much like historical fact about these things. Like he was giving us sort of like a patchwork of information at his whim. Like we would sort of like take a stop, then he'd be like, while we're here, let me tell you that the glacier water runs down to a pipe to a 5-star resort, which is right at the top of this hill, and any additional water that doesn't go to the resort goes to Machu Picchu. And I'm like, okay, if we didn't stop here, would we have gotten that? So like we get these like smattering of facts whenever he kind of like feels like it, whenever it's like the vibe, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care. I feel like this is a once in a lifetime experience. Anyway, whatever. We get to this final landing. We are finally feeling good. We're like, this is the end. We take our photos. Like, we get beautiful photos. It's sunny. It is so rewarding to see the fucking Citadel and to be there and to have the photos and just feel like, oh, yes, this shit is fucking over. In our final moments there, it starts to rain, naturally. So it starts to rain while we are overlooking the Citadel. Right now, it's like probably 2:45 p.m. So we like put our ponchos on as quickly as we can. And then it's like probably 20 flights of stairs down to these buses, okay? So then 20 flights down, we got on buses. They bus us down the side of the mountain. Horrifying, scary. I said, thank God buses are not sentient. These buses will be terrified as fuck. If this was sort of like a Cars situation, they would be horrified. I was like, thank God the bus doesn't know it's on the edge of a cliff, so it's just doing its job. And then I was reminded very, very quickly, the bus drivers are very aware. They have big signs at the front of the buses that say, like, do not talk to the drivers, like, no hable a la conductor, like, do not speak to them, because they need to be locking in. Like, I could not think of a job where you have to lock in more, okay? Each bus fits like 30 people, pretty nice. You can't wear your ponchos on the bus, so we have to take our fucking soaking wet ponchos off, get on the bus. Okay, we get down to Aguas Calientes, which is just called like hot springs. I did not see any hot springs, but it's a beautiful little town. Of course, we get off the bus, bunch of fucking stairs to get to our hotel. Nonetheless, we get there. We are thrilled. We have a couple of hours just to blow. We all like take warm showers. I have never smelled worse in my life, I think. Like this, the clothes that I was wearing, like genuinely some of the darkest moments. So we have a couple hours and then we have to meet back up for dinner. Carlos is like, I've got us a nice, reservation. We'll meet at 6:30, whatever. And Alina looks at him and she's like, the dinner's at the hotel, right? And he's like, no, it's down at the town square. More stairs, more ramps. Her face physically makes a frown. You know how they say, like, it takes more muscles to frown than to smile? She did not care about burning those calories, girl. She was physically frowning in his face, like about to cry in his fucking face. And he was just like, it's a really nice place. I think you're really going to like it. It was our final stand. Like that was that. So we get to our rooms. I'm in what they told me was a single room, but it's actually 3 twin beds. And they are in a room with like a double bed and a twin. We should have just stayed together at that point, but kind of glad we didn't because of the blowing up of the toilet that was happening mutually. Thank God that my body fucking figured it out. I want to say shout out to my body, not only for taking me through that fucking crazy, physically demanding hike, but for not shitting myself. For not shitting myself, because honestly, I have had a weaker constitution than I'd like in these recent years of my life. Some very, very close calls. If you know, you know. And I don't love that. I used to have a fucking iron stomach. I could eat anything, I could drink anything any time of day, wouldn't fucking matter. Now I drink a soda past 2 p.m. I'm up all night. Okay? And I was trying to not eat like the koi, the guinea pig, or the alpaca or anything beforehand because I was not trying to fuck with fate here. I was eating like potatoes and french fries and rice and things in advance. I'm like, I am not fucking with this. All right? So at the dinner that night, Alina gets an alpaca steak, which she said was absolutely delicious. Merritt gets like chicken and fettuccine. Like I said, a lot of Italian. And I get a vegetarian lasagna. I don't fucking know. Okay? Carlos gets a fucking glass of wine and a salmon fillet. Sir, I am sick of your capability. Okay? Fucking sick of it. All right? Okay? Finish dinner, go back to our hotel, sleep at like 8 o'clock. I didn't even do my Duolingo. I had to use a streak freeze, people. I was fucking exhausted. Okay. So we go to bed. Our meeting time the next morning, we have to meet him at the bridge at 7 o'clock. So I get up at like 6-ish, and there's a message on my phone. It's Merritt and Alina messaging like Alina's really not feeling well. She needs like Pepto. She like could not sleep. This hotel also pretty loud at night. All the lights were on. Somebody knocked on my door. I was like, this is going to be traumatizing. Nothing ended up happening. So just after 7, Carlos responds. He's like, I'll go get this Pepto-Bismol, and then let's all still meet around 7 o'clock at the bridge. So we slowly make our way there. Alina, really in bad shape. Not good. Like physically groaning, like cannot walk, like really not looking good. And this is the day that we're going to the Citadel. Oh, did I mention? It's pouring rain. So this is the day we're just doing the Citadel. So we're going to be there like approximately 2 hours just walking through a guided tour of Machu Picchu Citadel. Like it's not like we're doing any hiking today. And also, thank you to the sun gods or the spirits or whoever gave us great weather the day of our hike, because that would have fucking sucked otherwise. Okay. Like it already was so fucking hard. Like imagine if it was raining. Kill myself. All right. Kill myself. So we all get together. We have the Pepto, and we have a come to Jesus moment with Alina. She's like, are there bathrooms? And Carlos is like, no. Once we get up there and we go in, there are no restrooms. And she's like, I cannot be without a restroom. So she decides not to come. Merritt, myself, and Carlos get on the bus to go up. And Alina slowly, like Charlie Brown sad walks in her pink poncho with the Pepto-Bismol matching back to the hotel. Checkout is at 9. Okay, remember, it's like 7:30 at this point. So we go up, we, take the scary non-sentient buses all the way back up. We get up to the Citadel. Carlos, like I said, every couple steps, we like come to a stopping point. He like tells us some facts. It is honestly very beautiful, like the temples, the history, learning about like how it was excavated. It was in like 1911, people. 1911 or 1912, it was like rediscovered by this guy from Yale. And then they like took artifacts and they did all of the like deforesting of the site, and a lot of it was sort of like rebuilt and then put together, and like they used like mud and clay to keep some of the structures together as the photos had shown. So like really, really fascinating. And there are these temples dedicated to like the 3 different worlds. There's like the snake to represent intelligence, a condor to represent the connection to like spirit, and a puma to recognize strength. So I found that really interesting. There were temples to the condor, and all of Cusco City is shaped like a puma, like a really, really fascinating stuff. Okay. So we're like learning all these facts, like we're doing our little thing, pouring rain, it's freezing, it's pretty miserable. Okay. We get our couple of photos and then we go back down. Alina, while we were up there, has suggested to the hotel that she would like to stay longer. She tells them, it's like, speaking in Spanish, she's like, I am having stomach problems. I need a bathroom and a bed. This is what I need. And they're like, you can pay half the room rate to stay until 10:30 a.m. And she's like, fucking fine. By that time, we're already like back. I mean, Mara and I, like, we finish up pretty quickly because it's pouring rain. We get back on the bus. We come down. We get to the hotel lobby. We don't want to blow up Alina's spot because it's after 10:30 and they haven't kicked her out yet. We message her and she's like, I'm not going to leave this room until they come and kick me out because, like, I'm still not feeling great. Okay. So we're in the lobby just kind of fucking around and waiting. It's pretty cold. We've been waiting out in the rain all day. Our train is not until 2 p.m. It's like 11 a.m. at this point. We have too much fucking time to blow. This is not a large place to be. This is not a large city where there's a lot to do. Okay, there's like some tourist shopping, there's eating, which we do not want to do. We are not hungry. And I got a lemon meringue pie as soon as we got down. Okay, so we're not hungry. We have nothing to do. We have no room. We're just sort of like fucking around in this lobby. So what we decide to do is go get massages. So we go to this massage spot around the corner, and I thought I was just getting a foot massage. Like, the thought of taking all of my like wet clothes off for a massage and then having to put them back on made me so sad. So I thought, oh, I'll just get a little foot massage. I was like, can you do less than an hour? They were like, no, like just for your feet. What are you gonna do fucking around with my foot for an hour? At that point, I got webbed toes. It's like, at least give me a discount. Like, you can't even get in between those things. You know what I'm saying? So finally, they convince us. They're like, well, it's the same price to do an entire body massage. It's called the Inca massage, and it includes styles of shiatsu and hot rock and They named like multiple styles of massage, and I was like, how does it include all of these things? But here nor there, we do a full body massage. We get all oiled up. My masseuse is like yelling at me for being too stressed, and I'm like wincing in pain, like my calves and my thighs, like so much fucking pain. And she's like, "Está bien?" I'm like, "Yes." She's like, "You seem stressed." I'm like, "Well, yes." So Maren and I both got yelled at for being too stressed. Finally, we leave our massages. Alina gets kicked out of our room. We all go to the train together. And then that begins the hours-long journey home. Another 2 hours on the train. Then we get on a bus. Another approximately 2 hours on a bus. And then we have a car take us back to our Airbnb. Truly the longest fucking day of my life. But overall, incredible experience. We get KFC delivered to the house. And then a new day is upon us. On our final day in Cusco, we go see a women's soccer game. That was really fun. It was the Peru national team versus Uruguay. Peru did end up winning. That was really special. And then we had our big night out. I got violently drunk, and I will blame the altitude, but who knows? We did a little salsa, and we went to the club, went to the discoteca, we went shopping, we did all of that on our final day. But we had our flight the next morning at like 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning. Okay. And as I mentioned, my violent drunk ass, I did vomit quite a bit when we got back to the Airbnb at like 2 o'clock in the morning. And I did bring a wicker basket from the hall into my room in case I got sick, which I did through the night. So I'm sorry in advance to the person who owns the Airbnb and that wicker basket. Okay. We make our flight. We go back to Lima for one day. We are still exhausted, so we take it easy. We see the sunset. We go back. We get ready. Another, 8 hours home. I watched Running Man with Glenn Powell. God fucking knows why. And then I also watched A Real Pain with Jesse Eisenberg and Home Alone brother Culkin, right? Yeah. Wait. No. Wait. What's his name? Am I making this up? Hold on. A Real Pain. Is it Culkin? Kieran? Is that his name? It is Kieran. Okay, great. Thank God. Okay. Kieran Culkin. Yeah, that was really interesting. And I continued reading the other Mother book. So overall, very positive trip. Did so fucking much. 9 days in Peru. Absolutely loved it. Everyone was welcoming. Fucked around, did my little Spanish, trying to show off my skills. Went to the club, did the day trips, did the long trips, did all the things. Successfully made it home. Okay, last night, approximately 11:30 p.m. Here today for one day and then turning around to Phoenix tomorrow. We did catch, though, on our last night in Lima, on Saturday, some of Coachella. Unfortunately, Justin Bieber's set was at like 11:30 p.m. and there was absolutely no way I was going to make that happen. But we did catch Addison Rae and Geese live, and I followed up and was trying to watch as much as I could on YouTube. Like, Dijon was amazing. Sabrina Carpenter's set was amazing. Carol G last night, incredible. Her whole set and her whole performance sort of like dedicated to Colombia. Like, there was, what do they say, Mamba, there was mariachi, she brought out Becky G, bitch. It was incredible. But you know that we need to talk about Justin Bieber and Biebercella. Okay, I have not yet watched the full set, but I have seen the clips. I watched as much as I could so far, and I think my general commentary is, come on, give us nothing. Okay, it's going to fall into that category for me. Sitting there, no real set, on a laptop, like singing over YouTube videos, sort of like doing the scrolling thing. I find it to be a little bit of like a fuck you or like a troll. My first instinct was, is this like a commentary on how much of his life he's like sort of given away performing for people, and to be on like the arguably like the biggest stage, like the biggest, most expensive, important stage in the modern era, and to just sort of like fuck with people and be like, I'm just going to take this 90 minutes and sit here in front of this computer and sort of like mumble over these YouTube videos. Like, is it like a commentary on capitalism or like the exploitation of his childhood? Or is it just him like doing what he believes to be like performance art? Or, as Alina mentioned, is he insecure about like failure or not being able to put on a high production value show because he's not capable of doing these things? I don't know, but I do think I'm giving him too much credit, and it's actually not that deep. Like, I think I'm reading too much into it and being like, maybe this is a meta conversation that we should be having about the exploitation of child stars. And I'm like, well, yes. But do I think that's what he was thinking about? Like, maybe not. Maybe once I watch the full thing, I'll get a different perspective. But to quote Peyton Dix, I just think he had gay guy music video night with all of us. Okay. So that's what I have to say about it. We'll see what he does weekend 2. Maybe he will put on a show. God knows. But one can only hope. Other current event, WNBA, tonight is the draft. Congratulations to first round draft pick AZ Fudd going to the Dallas Wings with her girlfriend Paige Beckers from UConn Go Blue. And that's what I have to say about that. I only saw the first round pick, didn't see anyone else, but congratulations to everyone, or I'm sorry to those people who didn't make it. So take those messages. All right. That being said, WNBA has a lot of big moves taking place. I will say it's about less than a month till start. Liberty, New York Liberty, the only team that is so important to me. We lost a couple players so far. We lost Kennedy Burke. Okay. And we also lost Niara Sabali, who was actually doing pretty well last season, all things considered. Kennedy Burke had a unreal 3-point shooting record. She was like 40% from 3 or something like that. And Niara Sabali got pretty good at like being a center and being defensive and having blocks. So I feel like, oh, we'll miss them. But we did get her sister, a fellow German, Satu Sabali. I am excited about that. So unfortunately, we did swap those sisters. But Satu, I'm so sorry to say this, Niara, but Satu is a little bit better. So shout out. Excited about that. Other good news for the New York Liberty is that the Lynx are getting pretty broken up. The Minnesota Lynx, who have been like our rival for years and years. We defeated them in the championship 2 years ago. So they're getting pretty broken up with folks moving around. But teams that have sucked are actually going to be good this year. Like the Seattle Storm is beefing up their team. The Dream, obviously, just picking up Angel Reese. The Chicago Sky, who's been sucking, blowing ass, right? Okay, they have now Rakia and Skylar Diggins. The OG WNBA baddie, Drake was rapping about her before she had the Smith added to her name, people. Are you kidding me? The OG. I would trade anything for one of her arms. Okay, imagine. She could hike up Machu Picchu on her hands. That's how strong her arms are. Okay, so that's what I have to say about that. Let's move on to Rave Reviews. Rave Review is going to be the new song Pinky Up by Cat's Eye. And I will talk about the member of Cat's Eye who left, Manon, their only black member. So fucking sad. I think it was a lot of burnout, and maybe it honestly was like somewhat of like the racism of being in like a multi-race group or like a predominantly Korean group, right? Like a racial element to it. But she has not really mentioned that. Manon said that like she's taking care of herself and that she's hopeful, but she did remove Cat's Eye from her bio. I am so sad to see it though. She was honestly a goated member. So that being said, they come out with this new song, fucking banger, called Pinky Up. And I will say, when we listened to it for the first time in Cusco, it has a beat from Charlie XCX's Ibiza Boiler Room, minute 12. It's like the Six Flags theme song sample. So A.G. Cook, Charlie, I see you. I clocked it instantly. And I was like, we're going mainstream, baby. All right. So the song's banger. Music video, also a banger. And I will say, highlighting hella trans folks in this video. It's pretty gay. They're like, I'm going to make out with my best friend. I'm like, yes, girls, yes. And then they have all these trans baddies, like also featuring Vivian Wilson, daughter of the fucker Elon Musk, and other fellow trans artists. Let me give you their names. Saturn Rising, Mel Forever, Vex, and Catalina. Okay, so that was beautiful to see. I said, in this climate, girl, it is hot in here. And they were looking incredible. The song is amazing. It is going to be my hyperfixation moving forward. All right. Speaking of great things, the Lord giveth and the Lord she taketh away. Grave review is that Usher has just announced a tour with Chris Brown. It's called the R&B tour, standing for the Raymond and Brown tour. And the fact that we're losing Usher is going to kill me inside. Dagger to my heart. I want to fucking kill him, okay? Usher, man, defending Diddy and doing a tour with Chris Brown. My ops are fucking linking up, bro. Like, why? Why are you creating the recipe for cancellation? Like, why don't we fucking throw R. Kelly in there? Huh? Why don't you just compliment R. Kelly at this point? I do not understand. What do they have on you, Usher? You're gonna take my fucking favorite YouTube video away from me? Oh my god. So yeah, that's really disappointing. And the fact that Chris Brown has been like selling out tours for years, also disappointing. Did we really forget? We're like sort of forgiven and forgotten everything. I don't know. Listen, I miss Chris Brown songs too. I miss Kiss Kiss. I miss Greatest Love Song. Deuces. I had a CD in high school, 3 songs on it. I called it the 3 best songs of all time. Like a G6, Deuces, and Bottoms Up. Okay? So yeah, I miss Deuces. And he had bangers. Okay? So I am devastated to say that Usher has been taking L after L, and I'm going to have to pause on watching his Super Bowl halftime show until further notice, until we have more information. I don't want to add him to the canceled list alongside those of the likes R. Kelly, Diddy, Nicki Minaj, Kanye, you know? Which canceled artist do you miss the most? Or like, what canceled person's song do you miss the most? Allow me to share. I miss Step in the Name of Love by R. Kelly. I love that song. Okay? Or Feeling on Your Booty. Either one. Last Night by Diddy is like the only song I know from Diddy and the only one I really liked. Last Night with Keisha Cole, fucking banger. Deuces, Chris Brown, probably the only one I would really be spinning. Other than like Yo, Excuse Me Miss, which still comes on occasionally. I'm like, fuck Forever, that wedding song from The Office. I'm like, you know what, whatever, I'm past that. Okay. And I'm pretty sure that happened after all of the drama happened and they were still promoting it. So like, whatever. Nicki Minaj, like, I was a barb. Fuck the Club Up was hot like 2 years ago. I'm supposed to forget everything. I'm supposed to forget Itty Bitty Piggy. That's so devastating. Kanye, bro. Also, is Michael Jackson canceled or not? Because I am really getting mixed messages. I do not know where we're standing on that. Like, they've got this biopic coming out, Blanket's on the red carpet. People are kind of hyping up Blanket. People still spin his songs. Where are we landing there? I thought that it was a no-go. But I'm lost, okay? So tell me what I should think. All right, moving on. Can I say something for this week is obviously the life-changing experience of seeing one of the world wonders. Because it pisses me off, but it also makes me happy. Like, pictures never do anything justice. And I know there are like certain cameras and incredible photos that depict nature's beauty, but it is never ever as good as the real thing. Like, sometimes you really just have to witness things and accept that it will never be repeatable. And that's just like, okay. Some things are fleeting and should be, and that's what keeps them special. I even think the act of having to go through all that effort to see Machu Picchu is like an important part of the experience. Like, the reason why it's a world wonder and it takes so much to get there is because like humans created this. And you see where it is and you see what it took to build. Like, it shouldn't be easy, I guess. And I think it does put you in, at least it puts these places in some kind of perspective of what it took to create. But yeah, it frustrates me, but it also reminds me that it is so important to go out and do things and see things, because like all the photos in the world cannot replace being there and seeing it with your eyes and seeing the depth and the vastness of this valley and these mountains and these places. Like, the sheer size of these things and the stories about how they were built and how they didn't have the wheel at the time, so they were using like logs and rocks to carry up these gigantic stones. Like, insane to think about. Insane. Okay? So even sunsets, like, I fucking love a sunrise and a sunset, and I'm taking these pictures and I'm fucking mad. Like, I want so bad just get like a nice photo, and none of them look nice because I'm like, they will never look as nice as it looks right now with my eyes. I used to think my eyes were cameras, you know? I used to think when I was a kid, I was like, kind of like, imagine if my eyes were cameras and they were taking pics at any moment. And then I was sort of like, what if my eyes were cameras? Or like, what if someone was taking a pic of me? Or like, what if someone was taking a video of me right now, or a pic of me? Were other people doing that? Because I was sort of like, what if, like, going to concerts, like, what if they called me up? Or like, what if I accidentally like switch bodies with the person on stage right now? Is that's a normal thing. Okay, moving on. I'm sorry for the week goes out to the Airbnb host of the wicker basket that I threw up in. I did rinse it in the shower, and it wasn't like chunky, I would say. It was more along the lines of bile. Okay. So I did rinse it out and put it back where it belonged, but it's seen things that it probably shouldn't see. And it did make me feel ultimately better, and all is well. Okay. We did recover. So thank you for listening. My songs of the week are going to be The Dress by Dijon, absolutely incredible, and Pinky Up by Cat's Eye, and special extra third, Un Poco Loco, Coco soundtrack, Mi Amor, Mi Amor, Mi Amor. And I don't want to hear it. I know it's about Mexican culture and it's not about Latin, and it's not technically South American, but I don't care because that song bangs. It's like a minute and a half. Okay? Mi amor, mi amor, mi amor. Say less. It's finally a song in my register, people. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go? Let's go. Okay. So that's all for this week. I am so excited to be jetting off, coming back, and then having some normal fucking weeks ahead of us. Softball starts this week. It's Rebby's birthday this week. Shout out to Rebby from softball. Also Becca from softball. Happy birthday. I can't wait to have some normal weeks and some routine. I'm about to be kicking my own ass. I'm ready to fucking lock in. I'm thinking about going for morning walks. I'm thinking about creating like a nice routine and maybe some nice systems, some quiet time, some journaling time. I don't really know. Maybe I'm really going to be wellness maxing, self-fulfilling maxing. You know what I'm saying? You never know what I have in store. Okay. So stay on your toes. Thank you for listening. I've missed you so much. This has been Gay Rave. I am the Gabby L, and the L is for say it with me. Love you. Bye.
That's what she said. And you know what? What was that? Okay, James.